What really happened behind that brief moment that made millions fall silent? Was it just another ordinary interaction between an idol and fans? Or was it a split second that could have changed everything? And why did a global superstar's flash of panic ignite such uncontrollable speculation among ARMY? The names Jungkook and Taehyung once again became the center of global attention after a short video spread rapidly across social media, triggering emotional reactions, laughter, and even concern from fans. In that seemingly simple clip lies a story far deeper than what appears on the surface. A story about closeness, impulse, boundaries, and most surprisingly, the unexpected reactions of those around them. It all began in what looked like a typical backstage setting. The area was filled with metal barricades, empty chairs, and corridors usually reserved for staff and crew. Yet amid the calm atmosphere, Taehyung stood out with a completely different energy. Dressed in a yellow-green jacket and a cap, he walked around with light but spirited steps, as if something in the distance had captured his full attention. His gaze said it all. From afar, it was clear that his focus was fixed on the upper stands, where ARMY had gathered. With his signature gestures, he began pointing toward them, waving, and even, at certain moments, appearing to consider something unusual. A small movement, yet enough to remind anyone familiar with him of what had happened the day before, when he actually jumped over a barricade just to get closer to fans. The question lingered in the air, unspoken yet undeniably present. And in that instant, the previously relaxed atmosphere shifted into tension. Behind Taehyung, the staff and security team were already prepared. They weren't just standing still, they were moving. Fast, coordinated, and as if they could already predict the idol's next move. It was as though this wasn't their first time dealing with such a situation, as if they had already read his intentions before he even acted on them. Step by step, they followed Taehyung closely. There was no room for error, no space for the unexpected. Every movement was monitored, every shift in direction anticipated. And this is where the most attention-grabbing moment unfolded. As Taehyung moved closer to the barricade, his body leaning slightly forward, his hands subtly searching for support, a gesture so familiar to those who had witnessed the previous incident. His steps suddenly stopped. The staff immediately stepped in, forming a subtle yet firm, human wall. There was no forceful restraint, no shouting. Yet the message was crystal clear. Not this time. Taehyung's expression in that moment became a highlight. There was a flicker of confusion, a hint of disappointment, but also understanding. He took a small step back and gave a soft smile, as if acknowledging that what he wanted to do wasn't something that could simply happen on the other side. Jungkook's reaction became an equally compelling topic of discussion. Although he wasn't directly visible in the main frame of the video, other clips and angles suggested that he was aware of what almost happened. Not an exaggerated panic, but enough to make fans wonder. Why did he seem so alert? Why did his movements look restless, as if he was ready to stop something before it even happened? Or was there something deeper, something only those within that circle could truly understand? For ARMY, this moment was more than just entertainment. It was a glimpse into the complex relationship between idols and fans, between freedom and responsibility, between heartfelt desire and professional reality. Comments quickly flooded social media. Some laughed at Taehyung's adorable behavior, calling him unchanged and full of surprises. Others praised the staff's alertness, saying they had already memorized TD's patterns and were truly professional. Yet behind the humor, there was a serious undertone that couldn't be ignored. Some fans pointed out that jumping over barricades is no small matter. The risk of injury, uncontrolled crowds, and other potential dangers are exactly why strict security protocols exist. In a global phenomenon like BTS, even the smallest action can have massive consequences. Taehyung is known as someone warm, spontaneous, and deeply connected to his fans. He doesn't see ARMY as just an audience, but as a part of his life. His desire to get closer, to interact directly, is genuine, something that cannot be fabricated. But on the other side, there is a system that must be upheld. Boundaries that cannot be crossed, not to restrict, but to protect. And it is within this tension that moments like this are born, simple on the surface, yet deeply meaningful. Meanwhile, Jungkook's reaction reveals another layer of the story. He is not just a fellow member, but someone who understands Kim Taehyung deeply. That brief moment of panic may not have come from fear alone, but from care. These questions may never have definitive answers. But that's exactly what makes this moment so compelling. In a world where everything is carefully planned, spontaneous moments like this become rare, something that makes fans feel closer, more connected. And when the video ended, one thing became clear. This wasn't just about an action that almost happened. It was about dynamics, about relationships, about how a single second can reveal so much that usually remains hidden. But one thing is certain, every step he takes will always be watched, not only by the ever-alert staff, but also by millions of hearts waiting for his next move. And perhaps, behind all of this, the biggest question that remains is, how far can an idol follow their heart without forgetting the boundaries that exist? The silence after that moment did not last long. In fact, it only took minutes before the clip began circulating across multiple platforms, dissected frame by fans who refused to let even the smallest detail slip away. What seemed like a simple halted step suddenly transformed into a narrative filled with tension, speculation, and emotion. And at the center of it all remained Kim Taehyung, caught between instinct and limitation, between affection and protocol. But was this really the first time something like this had happened? Or was this just another chapter in a pattern that only the most observant fans had begun to notice? Those who had followed closely immediately connected the dots. Just a day earlier, Kim Taehyung had made headlines for an action that many described as both heartwarming and dangerously bold. In that previous moment, he didn't stop. He didn't hesitate. He acted. He crossed the barrier, literally, closing the distance between himself and the fans who had waited endlessly just to see him up close. That memory lingered. Not just for fans, but clearly for the staff, and perhaps most importantly, for Jungkook. Because if there was one thing that stood out in this new clip, it wasn't just what Kim Taehyung almost did. It was how quickly everyone around him reacted, as if they were trying to prevent history from repeating itself. And that raises an unsettling question. Had something behind the scenes changed after the previous incident? Some fans began to speculate that stricter instructions had been given. That perhaps the management, aware of the risks, had reinforced boundaries more firmly than before. In a global act like BTS, where every movement is magnified and every decision scrutinized, even a spontaneous act of affection can ripple into something much larger. And isn't that, in essence, what has always defined his relationship with ARMY? There is something uniquely disarming about the way Kim Taehyung expresses affection. It doesn't feel calculated. It doesn't feel staged. It feels immediate, almost impulsive, as if his emotions move faster than the systems designed to contain them. But systems exist for a reason. As the video continued to spread, some viewers began to notice smaller, subtler details that initially went unnoticed. The way one staff member slightly extended an arm before Kim Taehyung got too close. The way another positioned themselves just enough to redirect his path, without making it obvious. The coordination was almost invisible, but incredibly precise. And perhaps that's what made it so fascinating. This wasn't chaos. This was controlled intervention, executed in a way that preserved not only safety, but also dignity. Meanwhile, discussions about Jungkook continued to intensify. Some fans pointed out that his reaction, though subtle, carried